So, several weeks ago, Hank found out that he was going to throw the opening pitch at a Major League Baseball game. For those of you who aren't familiar with the sport of baseball, this is a great honor. It's been enjoyed by American presidents. Now, admittedly, there are like 62 Major League Baseball teams. They do play 161 games a season each. So it's not like it's that big of an honor, but it's an honor.
This is going to be a better story than you think. It's going to continue being crazy.
So Hank is like, does nothing to prepare because he's...
This isn't true. I do nothing to prepare for a long time, and then at the last moment, I realize, oh no, I did nothing to prepare.
Okay.
I'm at my friend Jason's house. He used to play baseball. I'm like, I'm about to throw out the first pitch at the Angels game, and he's like, Hank, what? And I was like, he's like, have you practiced? And I was like, no, I could throw rocks into the lake. I do it all the time. I throw rocks into rivers. Sometimes I just throw rocks off mountains, though you're not supposed to do that. There could be somebody down there. And he's like, it's not exactly like that. You want to know how far you're going to throw a specific thing. You're going to get one chance. There's going to be a lot of people watching. There weren't a lot of people watching.
Thursday at 6 p.m. for the Detroit Tigers and the Anaheim Angels turns out not to be must-see television or in-person viewing experiences for the vast majority of Anaheim residents.
So I go out and I toss the ball around with my friend Dave, my friend Jason. We mark off the distance to the mound. We throw. I do a lot of bad throws. I do some good throws. I learned my lesson, which is don't try to throw it fast, because then it goes anywhere. It's going to hit Jason's Vespa, and you don't want that. And one time it went into a pond. Jason went and got it out of the pond. He's a brave man. He drives a Vespa. And then, and I feel like I'm pretty ready. I'm pretty sore the next few days, but I recover just in time to arrive at Angel Stadium with a group of my friends and my brother and my niece.
We get there, and we go through the little security thing, and I'm like, he's throwing out the first pitch, like trying to like get, just like get through the line faster. I'm like, he's throwing out the first pitch. This first pitch guy over here. We get through the little line, and the other thing about this story is that maybe 10 minutes before this all happens, we're in the car on the way to the Angels game, and I say, to quote myself directly, I wouldn't throw out the first pitch at a Major League Baseball game for $10,000. That's what I said. I learned something about myself that day.
He'd also been like harassing me, as he does as a good brother, to practice.
Yeah.
Like, you need to practice.
Get ready.
And I was like, I will. And then I was like, oh, VidCon is in 4 days.
Yeah.
I finally did it.
So we get through security. This wonderfully nice man comes up to us and says, we're so excited to have you guys throw out the first pitch at the Angels game. And I was like, that was weird phrasing. And then he says it again. He's like, it's just, it's really cool for a lot of our staff. They learned from Crash Course, and they're really excited to have you guys throw out the first pitch at the Angels game. And I was like, I just got to stop you right there, sir. On now 2 occasions, you've referred to Hank as you guys. And he's actually a single individual, Like, I don't know if you know about subject-verb agreement and everything.
It's like a multi-celled organism kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of cells are going to be throwing out this first pitch.
You guys, this organized collection of cells and bacteria.
All 30 trillion of you
are going to be throwing out a first pitch. And I was like, what do you mean, you guys? And he was like, oh, you're not throwing out the first pitch? And I was like, who's me? Yeah, no, like only one person can throw out the first pitch by definition.
And then he's like, no, we're going to have you co-throw out the first pitch.
Throw to 2 different catchers. Both of you on the mound together at the same time, throwing at the same time.
And John's like, I don't need to do that.
That's what I said.
And then he says, well, that's the script that the announcer has. We can change it if you need us to. And John's like, no, don't cause any trouble.
I don't want to be
I just don't want to cause any trouble.
I don't want to be trouble. I want that on my gravestone. John Green, 1977 to 2133. He wasn't any trouble.
Yeah, that's what all the pharmaceutical companies are saying these days.
I just don't want to be any trouble. And so I learned that even though I wouldn't do something if you paid me $10,000, I will do something just not to be trouble. And so they give me a baseball, and I'm holding this baseball, and I realize I haven't thrown a baseball in anger in some 37 years.
Is this something I have to do in anger?
Well, I mean, by which I mean throw it 60 feet.
Right, right.
You know, like I've tossed a
You've, like, done
baseball
this,
with my
you've done
kids
like
a couple
this.
times. Alice is actually a really good softball player, so like I've pitched to Alice before underhand, but like I haven't thrown a baseball 60 feet.
It's a long way
in a Major League Baseball
Can we like
stadium
pretend
in my life.
like we know what 60 feet is?
Yeah, it's like this.
It's going to be way longer than you think. It's about the whole length of the stage. Yeah. It's maybe a little longer than that, actually.
And so I'm literally on the field, okay?
Oh, wait. You have to tell. Are we going out to the mound yet? Because there's an indoor activity that occurred that makes this story even more amazing.
You tell that part.
Which is that as we get to the thing, there's another guy. And he's with us the whole time.
Oh, the other guy.
There's a guy and his family.
Because it turns out.
No. I got it. You got it. His whole family's there. He's in an Angels shirt. He's in an Angels hat. His name is Bob. He's the shape of a man named Bob.
He's got a glove. He's wearing a glove.
His kid's got a glove. Everybody, and he's just with us the whole time. And I'm like, what's going on with Bob? Yeah. And I can hear John like listening in, and John's like, maybe we don't have to do this.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Bob's going to throw out the first pitch.
And we get up there. And Bob gets in the first elevator because the elevators are tiny. And I was like, is Bob throwing out the first pitch? And she's like, oh, no, Bob's throwing out the first pitch, but you are too. And I'm like, okay, we need to talk about first. And so we get out there, and Bob goes out to the mound to throw out the first pitch.
Yeah. Turns out you can have as many first pitch throwers as you want in Major League Baseball. Their definition of first is not like our definition of first.
And Bob gets to throw out the first pitch because he is a season ticket holder to the Angels.
Proper fan. And Bob, who again looks like a guy named Bob.
His forearms are as big as my legs.
Goes to the mound, puts his foot up against the rubber like a proper Major League Baseball player, kicks his leg way up, and hurdles a 65-mile-an-hour strike right into the catcher's mitt. And I was like, oh, no!
It hits the mitt. It makes a noise. It
made a noise.
It's like a thing happened when Bob hit, and Bob comes off, and I was like, Bob, that was better than what we're going to do. And he's like, yeah.
Because Bob knew that he was going to throw out the first pitch with more than 12 minutes notice.
I think Bob knew he was going to throw out the first pitch with like 45 years of notice. He's been thinking about this the whole time.
So we get up there, and we're walking out there, and
to throw out to co-throw out the second pitch.
Yeah, it's a great honor and responsibility to throw out the second pitch.
Co-throw out the second pitch.
To be half of the team throwing out the second pitch.
You know how often
at an Angels game on a Thursday at 6 p.m.
How often I look at my title of co-founder of VidCon and I'm like, yeah, sure, I guess.
I mean,
you were there.
I'll tell you, I held a lot of stress so that you wouldn't have to. And I feel like my role as the guy who holds the stress is a little bit underrated. I would also say that I did a lot of work to make you not own VidCon.
That's true.
So,
that was a big win.
So you're welcome.
For me.
Anyway, moving on, we co-throw out the second pitch at the Angels game. And Hank, of course, does a little bit better because he had this practice session with Jason and Dave, right? And I do okay.
It's on target.
It was on target. It did bounce once, but it only bounced once. And I was more worried about sort of a bounce, dribble situation. And so I was pretty thrilled with my one bounce. We get out of there.
I'll tell you this, though. If you can find the footage online, they call down, all right, play ball. It's like the voice of God speaks to you. You'd think it'd be like terrifying, and it was terrifying when we were on the sidelines, but then like two baseball cheerleaders walked us up to foul line, and then we like marched straight out there. But like the moment our feet touched the mound, God spoke, "Throw the ball or else." And so both of us like lifted our legs and we put our leg down and like perfect brother synchronicity, and we let go of the ball in perfect brother synchronicity, and it was very cute. And my ball in perfect brother synchronicity actually got there much faster than John's. But all the body movements were in perfect sync, as if we were a couple of dancers on TikTok. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I think we did a great job, and I'm really proud of us. And the main thing that I learned is that I am too concerned with pleasing people, which is a really important lesson to be able to take away from a Thursday night Angels game. The Angels won 5-0, and it was a ton of fun.
It was fun. It was fun.